Hey guys, so in today's video we're going to be comparing the GAN 356M to the GAN 356X. So let's get straight into it. So anybody who's seen any of my comparisons before probably already knows how I judge the cubes. But for those of you who are new, we judge them in three different categories. The first category is the feel of the cube, the second category is the performance, and the third category is how it affects my times. So let's get started with the feel of the GAN 356X. The feel of this cube can be described by one word, and that is smooth. The cube is super fun to turn because of how smooth and buttery it is, and I'll give you a quick listen. Algorithms really flow on this cube, and it is one of those cubes that you can't put down just because of how smooth and how fun it is to turn. Sometimes I find myself just doing random algorithms on it just because of how nice it feels. So if I had to give the GAN 356X a score out of 10 in the feel category, I would probably have to give it a 10 because I can't really think of anything that I dislike about it. So now onto the feel of the GAN 356M. Now historically GAN cubes have always had a really smooth and buttery feel, and this one is no different, but with one slight modification. It definitely has a little bit more of a tactile and precise feel to it, and that's reflected in the sound. It still retains a pretty similar feel to the GAN 356X, but it just has a slightly more tactile feel to it. So in reality, there really isn't that much of a difference between the GAN 356M and the X. So if I had to give it a score out of 10, I would have to give it a 10 because I certainly have no complaints about the feel of this cube. So now on to the performance category, and we'll get started with the GAN 356X. So for the corner cutting, it can pretty easily do 45. It can do line to line, but certainly with a bit of a struggle, but it can do it, and anything beyond that is just a reverse cut. So in reality, there really isn't many places on this cube that it won't corner cut. Now for the magnet strength of this cube, as many of you probably know, the GAN 356X comes with these changeable magnets that you can put in the cube. Right now I have the strongest magnet strength, which is perfect for me because you can tell that it's aiding in your turning accuracy, but it's not so evident that it becomes a problem. So if I had to give this cube a score out of 10 in the performance category, I would probably give it a 9 just because of that one minor corner cutting problem. So now onto the performance of the GAN 356M. So for cornered cutting, it can do 45 pretty easily. Line to line, just like the X, is a bit of a struggle, but it can do it. And anything beyond that is just a reverse cut. So just like the X, it can pretty much corner cut anywhere. And these cubes, in reality, so far are pretty close in feel and performance too. Now for magnet strength, there is one minor difference. As I mentioned earlier, the GAN X comes with those changeable magnets, while the GAN 356M does not. Now that being said, I think for 99% of people, the magnet strength won't ever be a problem because it seems to be pretty similar to the strong magnet setting on the GAN 356X. So in the performance category, I will give this cube a 9 out of 10, just like the GAN 356X, and that's just because of that one minor corner cutting problem. So far these cubes have been pretty similar in both categories, so now we are going to see how they affect my times. So I'm going to do an average of 30 on both of these cubes, which should give us a good sample size, so to speak. So let's get started with an average of 30 on the GAN 356X. So I just finished the average of 20 on the GAN 356X, and the average of 20 was a 17.83, which that's pretty normal for me, nothing out of the ordinary there. So now we are going to go and do our average of 20 on the GAN 356M. So we just finished our average of 20 on the GAN 356M, and the average of 20 was a 17.94, which, if you recall, that is about 0.05 seconds slower than the GAN 356X. Now, being that both of these cubes are so close in times, and those were both just okay averages for me, I'm just going to give both of these cubes an 8 out of 10 in the times category. So in the end, the point total for the GAN 356M was 27 points out of the 30 possible, and the point total for the GAN 356X was also 27 out of the 30 that were possible. So I guess that means that, well, we don't really actually have a winner. Now that being said, I do think that both of these cubes are absolutely phenomenal cubes, and I really don't think that one is really that much better than the other. So in the end, if you're just looking for a nice new speed cube, maybe an upgrade from what you already had, or maybe you just want one because they look cool, I don't know your reasons, but I think that either of these would be a great choice. Now, one thing that would factor into that can't really be displayed in a score out of 10 is that the GAN 356X is like $60, while the GAN 356M I think is like $40. I'll put their exact prices on the screen because I'm not sure off the top of my head, but that might just factor into your decision. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, or maybe it helped you in some way, then definitely consider leaving a like to help support me, and as always, if you're new, consider subscribing. So other than that, I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.